Hey everyone, good morning.
Hey, Shwarya. All right, let's just get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. This webinar is about the future of conversational tech for nonprofits. What we're going to cover today is majorly we have a panel with us today. I will talk more about the panel, but before that, just wanted to really appreciate the fact that you are all here. It's 10:30 in the morning. This is the first time we're doing an early webinar, and I really appreciate you being here today. Um, all right. I just want to talk a little bit about myself. I'm Sneha. I lead business development and sales at Project Tech for Dev. I'm primarily working on Glyphic. We will talk more about for a few of you. You're new to Glyphic. We'll talk more about what Glyphic also what platform is this. In the meantime, I will just share a bit about what I do here. So my work primarily revolves around speaking to NGOs, understanding their needs, and trying to understand if WhatsApp chatbot is the right tool for them to, use for their programs. That's what I do. I'm currently based out of Delhi, Gurgaon, actually. So would also like to know a little bit about you. So if you can just use the chat box and type down where are you joining in from, would be great to know you as well.
Yeah, just quickly, I see the presenter's view if that was not intended.
Yeah, just 1 second. This one, is this correct?
Yep,
Thanks.
it got back to the presenter's view.
Oh,
It's weird.
okay. Just flipping for everyone, I guess. Okay, never mind. That's okay. Okay, good to have you here, Tanishq. Hey, Arohi. Hey, Deepak. Hey, Ollie. Glad to see that you're in Bombay. Hey, Samarth. All right. Let's just talk a little bit about our panel for the panel that we have for today. We have three panelists. We have Erica. So Erica is the CEO of Project Tech for Dev. She brings in 23 years of experience, including 12 years in the corporate world, where she built software and products in the telecom and digital imaging domains. For the last decade, Erica has dedicated herself to the social sector, creating technology-driven solutions such as IVR systems, chatbots, and mobile apps. A product designer at heart, and she feels fortunate to work at the intersection of design, technology, and social impact, using her skills to build sustainable and human-centric solutions that empowers nonprofits. Welcome, Erica, to the panel. We have Radhika here. Radhika leads Glyphic chatbot program at Project Tech for Dev. Um, Prior to joining Project Tech for Dev, she has spent last 18 years at Amazon and health tech orgs. She wore several hats in software management, operational excellence, engineering, program, product management with a very heavy focus on people and their career growth. Radhika pivoted her career to social impact sector and is excited about leveraging problem solving techniques and technology, enabling tools to solve some tough problems in the sector while working alongside various NGOs. Welcome, Radhika, to the panel. We have Krishna. Krishna brings in 9+ years of experience in the tech plus social impact space. She's a senior product manager at Glyphic. She works directly with NGOs to co-design use cases, run learning programs, cohorts, and enables adoption. She brings in great insights from working across 150 plus NGOs on WhatsApp chatbot. All right, so that is our panel for today. Sorry, yeah. What we are going to cover today is the session is split into two parts. One is we'll be talking about some stories from the field in terms of how WhatsApp chatbots have been used on the field and some insights into working with the NGOs on the ground. That's the first bit which Krishna is going to cover about. The second bit is more about fireside chat, and we'll move into audience Q&A. So that's how the flow is going to look like. Before we begin, I have a small question, and I would like to know from all of you if you can use the chat box to type in what's the main way your NGO communicates with your community today. So it can be any tool, anything that comes to your mind. It can be WhatsApp, phone calls, anything. So if you can just type down here. Sure, Nandini. Good to know. We have IVR and WhatsApp in person. Okay, WhatsApp. Okay, variety of different things from Kritika. Slack, very interesting. Okay. We use WhatsApp groups, heavily rely on monthly parent meetings to interact with parents. Okay, so I can see ranges in person to, okay, there are a few Instagram as well now. Okay, great. Good to see Instagram as well. Slack, Instagram, WhatsApp, LinkedIn. Okay. Thank you so much for putting in your comments here. I mean, keep putting in comments whenever you find time. But yeah, I'm happy to see that there's a range of different kind of tools that you use. Some are still in using WhatsApp. Some are using variety of different tools as well. So which is great to know. So now what I'm going to do now is pass on the mic to Krishna. So Krishna, if you gonna just yeah,
Yes,
pick
thank
it
you so
from
much,
here.
Neha. Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to share some stories as Sneha mentioned, like based on my experience of working with like around 150 NGOs, closely consulting around 15 NGOs across multiple sectors. So before I get started, I just want to know, like I see more than 50% of you have used WhatsApp for your communication. So can you tell me how many of you have used or like created or run a chatbot earlier? So if you have run a chatbot, say yes. If you haven't, say no. I see a combination. Okay. Good. So before we get started, before I speak more about Glyphic, before we speak more about the NGOs that are on Glyphic, so I'd like to quickly tell you like what exactly is a chatbot, WhatsApp chatbot for the people who aren't much aware. So WhatsApp chatbot you can consider as a WhatsApp which got superpowers. So it is like a regular WhatsApp. You have a communication where like what does a regular WhatsApp do? It sends messages, receives messages, right? So a chatbot will help you to do this more efficiently with a larger group of people. So through a WhatsApp chatbot, you can have a lot of automated conversations so that a lot of conversations which you do on a very regular basis that can be done in an automated fashion with less of your effort. because it is automated, it's also accessible 24/7. So you don't need to have like a human like in a different shifts, or like a particular, like you don't need to confine your impact to your regular office hours, in simple terms. And the beauty of it is, though it is automated, it's not like, we all know, because we all work with nonprofits, we all know one size doesn't fit for all. Like we work with communities who are coming from different backgrounds, have different literacy, cultural beliefs. So WhatsApp chatbot also enables you to personalize based on their particular profile. So it can be like based on the language, based on the region they belong to, based on their preferences, in terms of me being a sixth grader versus being a 12th grader wants to know very different information. So a WhatsApp chatbot will enable you to cater all these needs in an automated fashion, uh, at a much quicker pace. And because it has a very similar UI to WhatsApp, your users don't have a learning curve, because around like 90, more than 95% of smartphone users today have WhatsApp. So they already know how to use WhatsApp. So you're tapping into a space which they already know, rather than teaching them something new by introducing a new application or anything. So that's one another beauty of a WhatsApp chatbot. And some of you, as I've seen, like you said, like you're using IVR, you are using Slack or different systems. A chatbot, you can smoothly integrate it, your external systems as well, so that you can like, one chatbot itself has a lot of features which a regular WhatsApp doesn't have, and you can further integrate its features by integrating it with other systems, and create like a holistic communication system. So this is very simple about like a WhatsApp. And as I said, WhatsApp, it's just two things, right? Like it's sending message, receiving messages. But just with this particular two things, there are a lot more use cases that our NGOs have used. So they are using chatbots in multiple different fashions. So I'm going to speak about like four major use cases that our NGOs use, by also giving examples of one NGO which uses that in a like more, and like there are like many more NGOs for each of these use case. One, I'm going to speak about the Apprentice Projects. It's an organization who is working on building social and emotional skills in children through personalized activities. So they use chatbot to send personalized activities to around 70,000 students across multiple states. So they send personalized based on the choice of the activities that the students want to learn. Like, so if I want to learn social and emotional skills in dance, I'll get a dance activity video. If I'm a student based out of Karnataka, I'll get in Kannada, versus a student based out of UP will get in Hindi. So based on my language, based on my region, and based on the subject in which I want to learn, and also based on the rigor that the student wants to learn, based on the grade that the student wants to. So they have a lot of personalized activities that can be sent. And they also like receive activity like submissions from the students, evaluate, give feedback, have a quiz running on the chatbot. So now this year they want to reach out to 2.2 plus million students through chatbot. So sending a personalized content is something that you want to do with your community. So chatbot is one thing to consider, definitely. Now there's another organization called Reap Benefit. It's a Bangalore-based organizations which work in working with youth to solve climate and governance problems. So they collect hyperlocal data from these youth. They nudge the youth to collect hyperlocal data in their community, and are creating like a crowd verified open source data systems called Samaja Data. So they are solving local civic problems through it. They are also partnering with a lot of NGOs. They're partnering with government to show this data, and like they've actually collected data and presented in a high court case and actually won it to solve a uh, potholes problem in Bangalore. So this is one another like powerful way to use a chatbot if you want to collect the data from users and have it like consolidated and use it in different formats. So nudging and collecting data is another very powerful use case. Now we have another use case by Antarang. So Antarang, I think Vani is in the call already. So Antarang have created, like you should definitely check that chatbot. It's super interesting. So Antarang have created a chatbot to increase career guidance and awareness in children. So the way they have done it is to enable self-learning. So they don't send content, though they send content at a regular basis, nudge at a regular basis. They have created like a whole content library, so a student at any point can access the chatbot, see what they want to do. So do they want to play a career game? Do they want to learn how a CV is built? Do they want to understand what are the different exams that are upcoming? So there's a huge content library that they have created, and they are working with 35 plus students to enable this self-learning. And we have other organizations who are using chatbot to create like a mini LMS where they are training their field workers, they are training their volunteers through a chatbot itself. And these the use cases that I've spoken till now are rule-based chatbots. So it works on certain rules. And as I said, a lot of integrations are also possible. So one of our very powerful integrations is the AI LLM integration. So I'm going to touch upon like one particular or a common way to use this is to resolve the queries of people. Like because a lot of times people don't follow are not able to structure their questions in a format that your chatbot has been designed in. So you would want to have a natural language communication with your users. So Sneha is one organization which is working with pregnant women in Mumbai urban slums, where they work with pregnant women like for the 1,000 days to ensure there's a better maternal and child health. So they have a chatbot designed integrating LLM. They answer natural language queries of pregnant women. So women can ask different questions, and we have women asking questions in the midnight because there are no community organizers or volunteers available at that time. So the chatbot is able to help them or give like that first-hand information on what different kinds of food to eat, or what are the different care like vaccines that they need to take during once the child is born, or the reports that they get like sonography and different things that they have to do during pregnancy. So these are like very powerful ways to use a chatbot and can be scaled through your communication with the chatbot. So I'm speaking a lot about a chatbot. So I want you to see, because some of you might have not seen how a chatbot looks like in action. So I want to show you like a very quick video of one of the chatbots that's designed with using Glyphic and like very closely. Like we have been working with this organization called Vedis, and Vedis is working at a government level on making policy easily accessible for people, because policies do keep changing at a very regular pace. And for government officials, it's very difficult to catch up on like, hey, out of like a 50-page policy, which part of the policy was being changed. So for them to easily understand what are the changes that are being done and get easily answers so that they are able to guide their people or their team members, and also for the government to get like policymakers or the government to get easy access, like what are the common questions that the people are having with respect to policy, or what is their feedback in general about the policy. So to meet all these needs, Vedis Foundation have created a chatbot. Like the name is called Kunji. It's run in 2 states right now. So I'm going to like quickly share like a video to understand what Kunji does today. uh yes, Sneha, would you like to play?
Yeah.
So here the chatbot is collecting the designation of the person so that they can give personalized information based on that. And there's like a main menu sort of thing which is being created. The language, everything all comes under the personalization aspects. Here, instead of reading the whole policy, they are asking like a question from one of the policies. So this is a AI enabled chatbot. Now it has given like a crisp answer to their particular question, and they're also referring to the main document, policy document, in case they want to see. And it's a conversational flow, just like you have used ChatGPT. So you can further ask questions on the answer that's being given. Sneha, I think we can pause here. Thanks. So now that like I've spoken a lot about WhatsApp chatbots and everything, you must be wondering what is Glyphic doing in all this picture. So Glyphic is a platform on which you can create WhatsApp chatbots for any of the use cases that I have showed earlier. So Glyphic is a SaaS platform. So it's a very easy low code platform on which you can create like through just like a flowchart sort of structure. You can create a chatbot for your own use case, like whatever the problem that you guys are trying to solve. What makes Glyphic different from the other SaaS platforms or the low-code platforms is one, we are not a software, like a typical software company. We are not the ones who will give a product to you and get done there. So we are a partner for NGOs when we say that we will work along with you to solve your problems. So we will guide you at different steps. And at the end of the day, like we want the problem that the communities, like the NGO sector is trying to solve. It's just not the product that is our end goal. So for that, like with that in place, we keep NGO first approach in all the decisions we take. So it can be on the feature development. So every feature that we built on Glyphic is not because it's say trending in the market, but it's coming as a need from one of the NGOs or like most of the NGOs. And also like our features, when we build, like we share like the requirements with you, like sharing like, hey, adding feedback, and based on that we'll be building all our features. We build all our features. And we also understand that a tech is a new thing for a lot of you NGOs. So we try to give you support as much as possible. It can be through webinars, it can be through our Discord support channel, documentation and everything. And one of the major things that we as an organization believe is when a group of NGOs and like people or different organizations working for non-profit sector come together, are able to do better things. So as a part of that, we do run like a lot of meetups, sprints, to bring all people together at a different places, and also do run cohorts to encourage peer learning, because we all are like facing similar problems or solving similar problems. So we want you to meet and like learn from each other. So even cohorts, like we don't do like a one cohort which might be for all. So we do run like a cohorts for new organizations called Accelerator, Launchpad. Like Sneha is going to talk about Launchpad. If you want to start a chatbot within 2 days, so that is one cohort that we are going to start in like next month. And we are currently running a cohort called Restart Cohort for the organizations who have people like transitioning out and they do not have internal Glyphic knowledge, to make them use Glyphic again, or like to make them run a chatbot again. So Glyphic is built with NGOs and for NGOs. That's pretty much how it is. And before I pass on the mic, I just want to share like my strongest learning of working with multiple organizations, and that would be my suggestion to any organization that is going to use chatbot or any tech in general, is understand your users as much as possible. Like, because it's very, very important to first realize or accept the fact that we all are very different, have very different motivations, very different needs, very different wants. What works for me might not work for you, might not work for the community that you're working with. So understand your users as much as possible. Take your time. So don't think chatbot will create a magic in one day. It's not it. Like, continuous development like you're doing with your programs, right? Like every single day you improve your program, you run, you understand your users, you take feedback. So that similar journey that you have to do with chatbot as well. So understand your users as much as possible and create quick prototypes and run pilots. So don't wait for like one perfect end product to be created, because you don't know, like there's no end perfect product, it's always a work in progress thing, right? So create quick prototypes, run pilots, see what is working, collect data. So see what time people are more talking, what kind of questions people are asking, where are people majorly stuck from what you have asked, like is it even solving the problem that you initially intended to start with? Talk with your users. They will tell you what is working, what's not working. So you don't need, because a lot of times we work with assumptions. So my strongest suggestion to all of you will be, don't work with assumptions. Always ask like, hey, is this working for you? What is, like, at what point are you not liking it? Like, you don't need to ask in a direct way. You can maybe just sit with somebody using a chatbot. You'll understand 100 other things which you didn't know till date. So just keep doing it, and your users will shape your chatbot, and that's where the journey of scaling will unlock, if that's something that you are trying to solve. So yes, thank you. Like, I'll pass on the mic back to Sneha. I know there are a lot of questions. Maybe we can take at the end. Like, I'll be happy to address a lot of them. Thank you,
Sure.
Sneha. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Krishna. That's a powerful reminder of how nonprofits are using WhatsApp chatbot to connect to their communities. We do have a lot of questions here on the chat. We can take one of them and maybe just park the others for later towards the end. Yeah. There is one question on we need data and dashboard for two reasons: data for action and data for information. Does chatbot support this? Krishna, would you like to talk about data dashboards a little?
Sure. Data is one thing which we strongly focus for a lot of our NGOs as well, because like building chatbot is one, learning from it is the most another most important part. So like every conversation that's happening on your chatbot will go to, like, we suggest like a database called BigQuery. So every conversation that's happening on your chatbot goes to your BigQuery, and if your team has internal capacity to like directly get data from BigQuery, that's pretty much it. Or else, like you can create like a simple dashboards to see the data that you want to see. So data is there, like, and like you will get all the data that is happening, and we will also help you with thinking through the metrics that you want to collect, so that you are able to take decisions from the chatbot programs that you are learning.
Thanks, Krishna. That's helpful. All right, everyone, let's just move to the next segment, which is the fireside chat with our panelist. We have received a lot of questions in the registration form, and I've also like tried to club a few and add it here for the panelists to answer as well. So I'm going to ask my first question here. This is for you, and this is for Radhika and Erica. So you've worked extensively in the tech space and now working with the social impact space now, right? So can you share some insights into how NGOs think about tech adoption, and what's one or two big shifts you have seen over the last year in terms of how NGOs are thinking about adopting tech? Erica, would you like to go first? And yeah, then we'll hear from Radhika.
Yeah, thank you, Sneha. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's webinar. We all hope that it is helpful and useful for you. So, Sneha, for your question around, like working with like more than 150 nonprofits on Glyphic, and overall as Tech for Dev, we've worked with more than 200 nonprofits, and also based on my past experience working with NGOs. I see a couple of reasons. Like when I look back as to why certain NGOs adopt tech, and why there are some that who are still thinking about it And for me, four clear reasons, that I have been able to put down are like one, I feel sometimes it's just the necessity which is driving organizations to adopt technology. For example, we all, went through the pandemic. We were never thinking about, using tech. Maybe we would have thought about it a couple of years down the line, but this just accelerated our adoption, our thinking towards technology. And also, similar situations, whether it be for climate change or natural disasters, when there is simply no other way, that is when you start thinking, okay, what is the solution? And you start thinking, oh, can tech solve for it? So I think that is one of the points that I would like to call out where I have seen NGOs thinking about tech and adopting it. Sometimes the second point I would say is simply as simple as it is like FOMO, I can see people around me talking about technology, adopting technology. I can see success in the solutions that they are trying out, and I don't want to be left behind. So that is when some organizations want to take that bold step of like ideating and investing into technology. The third point I feel, which I have seen across, that when tech is driven by the founder or by the leadership within the organization, it is a smooth sailing for the organization. When there is a leadership buy-in, that tech is the way to help us scale our programs, then there is less of justification needed from the team and as to why tech matters. And this we've seen across our fractional CXO program also, where we are working very closely with our nonprofits. So I would say leadership buy-in is another big thing, because tech is something which needs an investment. It is something you're trying for the first time. So it has to be driven from the top. And fourth point I would like to call out is around peer and network. So when you see organizations around you facing similar challenges and how they are adopting technology and gaining success, that is when you feel that, maybe tech can be an answer for me. So it just gives you like have a proof of concept with you, right? Because you're facing similar challenges, and that gives you the confidence to invest. So overall, I would just like to say that adoption of technology is not just about adopting the tool, but it is about leadership conviction, the community confidence, and the timing. And many times, we hear this question, like some NGOs who are still thinking about getting on to this tech journey. Am I the right size NGO? Am I too small to, think about technology? And the way we at Tech for Devs, what we say is there is no right size for an NGO to reach when you should think about technology. Simply, if you have a solution to a problem that matters to you, and there is a systematic way of solving ready. So I can pass it on to Radhika. So I think one big shift that I have seen in the last 1 year is the receptiveness of the nonprofits when it comes to adopting technology. Accelerators, which Krishna mentioned, which is like our flagship product, I would say, an event that we do once a year, is where our non-tech NGO partners come, and within those 2 days they go back with a working chatbot. And just, certain testimonials that are received, like, oh, I could do it, right? I didn't know I could use tech to build a chatbot, to have a conversation. I think those are like really experiences which touch us. And it just shows that I've seen this a lot growing even more and more in the community, where we are not fearing technology anymore. So yeah, so I think that is one big shift that I have seen. And also for some organizations who are a little advanced, they are now thinking about, okay, how do I build engagement? My solution is there, but now I need to get my users to start using that. So I think different organizations at different stages are thinking about, I can see big shifts happening there. So I'm very hopeful for the years to come on how organizations will be adopting technology for scale. Thank you.
Thanks, Erica. So just adding a little more on specifically the technology side, I think what I've seen, I think all of you might have seen, is in the last 2 years, the presence of AI is everywhere, right? And this is actually true for the social sector as well. We ourselves are an NGO, we are a nonprofit, and internally we've started using AI and LLM a lot. When we started off 2 years back with integrating that, I saw a lot of skepticism, a lot of caution from the NGOs starting to use this. And over the 2 years, I have seen that they've become more comfortable in picking it up, in trusting it, in using it as a collaboration tool rather than trying it as a cautionary thing, right? And that's because this technology is fast evolving. It changes every day, every week, right? And it is very easy to use. So when we talk about tech 2 years back, it was probably not something anyone could use, but with AI and LLM enabled chatbots and technology, I feel it is much easy to use. So that's probably just a nudge to everyone here on the call as well, to think of it as a simplified tech that's available to you. Yeah, back to you, Sneha.
Thank you, Erica and Radhika, for sharing the insights. We do have like range of NGOs, who are from small, medium to large scale, and at different tech journeys internally. So thank you for sharing your insights there. Erica, my next question is specifically for you on your time at Digital Green. What you've used WhatsApp and other digital tools, right, for field engagement. Can you share some lessons from your experience that shape the way you think about tech today?
Thanks, Sneha. Yeah, as like Sneha mentioned in my intro, so I started off my journey in the social sector working on IVR systems and then moved on to working on chatbots. And one thing I realized, like few learnings which I can just share based on my experience. I hope they are helpful to you when you take your decisions. One is, you need to identify the gap or the unmet need that you are trying to address. And why is that important to you? How is it overall going to change the program outcomes? Think on how it can be solved. And if tech is a solution, only then think about it. Because at many times, we've seen that tech may not always, but it may not be the solution. Sometimes it's your internal process. Definitely, whenever you think about technology, just think what is the gap that you're trying to address. And when you think that, yes, tech is the way to go, then you start thinking about what is the right tool. And one thing that I want to just call out, like I spoke about IVR, I spoke about what chatbot, or like WhatsApp, right? Very important when you are trying to address a gap and you're trying to choose a tool, play to the strengths of that tool. Don't try to achieve everything from one particular channel, right? So that is when you will see success. So if you are using the right tool for the right purpose, it will happen. Just be patient, monitor, the work that you are doing, have your success metrics in place. I think that will take you to success. Whenever you design or you think about technology, I feel tech has to be simple, easy, and intuitive for the user. Because we're all trying to reach out to marginalized communities, people who are not very tech literate, right? So we need to design for them. And that is what takes me to my next point, that it is very important, not just for the product managers who are working on the solution, but even the engineers who are, developing the solutions to visit the field, to be with your end users, see how they're interacting with technology, what are the challenges that they are facing, understand the context, the language, because you just don't know what you might build when you have that context. And that is something we really push for at Tech for Dev. So while we always see engineers in the backside where you are just developing, but we highly encourage our engineers to even hit the field, work very closely with the NGOs. And last thing that I would say is I've always seen that, whenever you build things in phases, it just, you are able to first understand where the issues are. You are able to iterate better because your variables are fewer. So always, whenever you are taking on that or starting your tech journey, always start small. Okay. Break your entire solution into phases. Run phase one, put down your success metric for that. Learn from it. Then go make tweaks and then again iterate on it. And that will take you, at least this is what I have seen working for the solutions that, I have been involved in. And that is something that we at Tech for Dev really, ask our teams also to do, and also guide our NGO partners on how they should go about, running pilots. So I think these are a couple of things that, if I sum up all my experience with working with technology, these are a couple of things that I would like to share with this group.
Thank you, Erica, for sharing those points with us. So my next question is for Radhika. So Radhika, Glyphic has been more than a product, right? So it's part of a growing community. How do you see the community has shaped up the product over time? And where do you see it going next in next 1 year?
Sure. So I would see the community and the product, which is Glyphic in this case, or the chatbot, going hand in hand. And it was very refreshing for me to see how strong this community is of the NGOs, because they are very willing to help each other, share what they've done. And that is what sort of makes it stronger. And we in turn learn from the NGOs we work with. So when we talk of community, it is like the ecosystem building that we also encourage within the NGOs. And we have various sectors that we work with within the social sector. And education being one of the most common, I think we have like 40, 50 NGOs there. But we have various sectors. So the platform is sort of agnostic to the sectors, but the needs that come in from the NGOs. For example, we had, I think Krishna talked about translation. So we built auto translations into our product last year. And the product has been around for 4 years now. So the reason we built it in because it was the right time, and we were seeing several NGOs working on it manually to translate like whatever they have in English into Hindi, into different languages. So we were able to understand the need at that time, and we had the technology available. We integrated various like OpenAI, Bhashini for translation, Google Translations as well, and made that feasible. So now with the click of a button, you can translate the entire chatbot flow that you might have in English in several languages, right? So this is just an example, but I think I've seen the Glyphic team really work with the NGO. So once you build it, like Erica mentioned, we have to iterate through it. Everyone doesn't pick up what's built and released immediately. So we invite our NGOs to city meetups and the level ups, which we do virtually, like this one. And we also have sprints where we invite NGOs to work with us as a community. And whatever we released, if it's in a beta, we get inputs from the NGOs, tweak, iterate, and then make it better. So over the past year and a half, this particular example that I use with auto translations has really grown. And now whatever inputs we've got from the NGOs, we've incorporated those, and we've seen this feature being used at a larger scale by the NGOs. So looking at future as well, I think this is where I would go back to the LLM-enabled chatbot, because LLM is the mainstream use case now for a lot of NGOs. We've started focusing on that a lot more, and sometimes, our NGOs don't know what they might want as well. So we have to think in their shoes. This is where our field work comes. Like when we do field visits, this is where, that comes in. Like we can apply our tech background and work with the NGO programs to recommend that, okay, we need this particular feature. So for example, we are looking at evaluation of the LLM-enabled chatbot. So you all might have experience if you're using ChatGPT. Sometimes you get good answers, sometimes you get weird answers, right? So how would you test that? And that is a tricky thing to do because you would have several questions that your end users might ask your chatbot, and how would you be at peace that the LLM-enabled chatbot is answering it well? So the Glyphic team is looking at focusing in the future on supporting the NGOs with these kind of improvements. Also, like evaluating impact. I think someone asked about data. So evaluating impact for the chatbot that they have deployed. We have the data, but I think the right questions to ask for what goes on your dashboard and what is useful to not just one person in your team, but several levels of roles that are spread across your team. I think those are the things that we are focusing at this point because we also hear back from our NGOs that that's what they are looking for. Yeah, that's it, Sam.
Thanks, Radhika. Just building on that, I would like Krishna to share a bit on how NGOs are using AI on WhatsApp. So if you can just share some examples so that people are able to visualize.
Sure. Like our NGOs are using AI in multiple ways. So I'll just call out maybe like two or three top ways that people are using NGOs. One, as we showed in case of Vedas or spoke a bit about Sneha, it's majorly for a query resolution. Again, like when we ask a question in a chat GPT or a Google, it searches all over the internet and give information which might not be very accurate a lot of times. Two, it might not be very suitable for the people that you're working with. So in our case, what we enable is we can have like NGOs add their own knowledge base, like a verified knowledge base. In case of Sneha, they have their own documents which is relevant for their women to add it at the back end. And any question that the women ask is being answered from that knowledge base. So they can ask in a natural language. They can, again, like somebody asked in a chat, can we have a voice enablement? Yes, that's also a part of people can ask a question through a voice note in their language and get an answer again as a voice note also. And the answer is pretty much like curated from the knowledge base that Sneha has created. So query resolution is one very common AI use case that a lot of our NGOs do. Like a slight extension to query resolution, it's also like how Vedis was doing, like a summarizing a particular information that they want. So it's like a variation of this, but getting summarized information, ability to give feedback. This is another thing that is done. Third one, very interesting and very powerful way which people are using is ChatGPT Vision. Like I don't know how many of you are aware of GPT Vision. It reads instead of reading a question or a natural language text or a voice note. What it does is it has the ability to read an image. So one of our organization called Argyam, so they work with JJM Assam. It's a Jal Jeevan Mission Assam. It's a very big government project in Assam, and what they do is they have like water meters set in different districts, and because the central runnings organization wants to know if the water meters that were set are working well, like how much water is being consumed. So they have something called water meters. So because like earlier they used to ask somebody to actually enter the numbers and it was very difficult. So now what they do is they have these Jal Suchaks in different places. They just go take a picture of the water meter and send it to the bot. And the bot is able to read the meter that is there in the picture and is getting captured in their database. So that's one very powerful way of using uh, getting information from an image. And we have different other organizations also. We have an organization called INREM, where people can take a picture of a water and like see how much algae is present, like how good is the water to consume. And like there are different ways where AI can be used today, and our NGOs are still surprising us every time with new use cases or new ways of using AI. So yes.
Thank you, Krishna, for sharing that. We're almost towards the end of at least the panel discussion. So I'll just open up the floor for any questions which the audience wants to ask the panelist. Happy to, just feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Kritika and I'm from Shraddha Manu Foundation in Chennai. We've been following Glyphic for a while now because we feel that, it'll suit what we are doing. I mean, in terms of simplifying our programs, or rather reducing the time that we spend on a lot of, activities. But the major concern has always been cost, because we are an NGO, we are funded by CSRs. You know how it is. So, what is it that, or how can Glyphic help us in that area? I mean, what are the various options that we have in terms of costs or pricing or whatever?
Sure, Kritika. We can touch upon the pricing in a bit, but in terms of like how do you engage funders or communities at large, and also engage funders in so that they're able to see this as an investment for an NGO. I would just like to ask Radhika if she can just share some insights there on engaging donors, funders, CSRs.
Sneha, did you mean specifically for Kritika's question?
Yeah. So
Yeah. So I think one of the main things that we've seen recently is the funding or donors, the organizations that we work with or that NGOs work with, um, they are getting gradually opening up to using technology, especially in the AI LLM space. So if there are certain use cases that you would like to leverage, like you mentioned, Kritika, for your use case, and there is like we can talk about this after as well. But if we talk about the problem first with the donors rather than the solution, and use tech as an enabler there to solve this particular problem, I mean, we can enable funding there. But in terms of tech for dev or Glyphic, we can definitely sort of support you to think through this if there is a need. Um, and yeah, I think overall what we have seen is there are quite a few NGOs who we've been talking to in the past, but now they have these donors, the CSRs, who are using or open to like funding them for tech. One other thing that I wanted to bring up is Glyphic is a SaaS platform, right? So when we build for one NGO, it actually is leveraged for all NGOs. It is available for free for them to use. When I say for free, as in we're not charging them anything to build that. So I think just having that perspective when we are proposing or adding proposals for our funding, I think is usually also helpful and powerful. Back to you, Sneha.
thanks, Radhika.
Thank you.
Just adding there, Kritika, in terms of costing, pricing, Glyphic comes with a regular subscription fee. We'll share that information over email as well. And there are different elements of pricing as well. And we'll also just share that as well over the email, right?
Sure. Thanks, Sneha. Thanks, Radha.
Sneha, can I just add in here
Sure,
to
please,
Kritika's
Radhika.
question? So Kritika, one, we've also heard what you were saying, like, how do we raise funds for this? So I would just say like please take advantage of, the events that we do. Like we have an accelerator, we have a launch pad coming in, wherein it just gives you certain waivers, and also you have the team working with you over those 2 days to create a POC for you, right? So I do understand that, when you're venturing into a new territory, like when it is coming to technology, uh, because you do not have a proof, are also good to leverage. And then that will, when you even draft that in your proposal, it will come with a lot of conviction. And I'm sure the funders are also here to give their money for, for you to be successful. So maybe you can, look at it from that light. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Erica. There was another hand up. Can't see it now. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, Sneha. Thanks
Yeah,
for
Karishma.
pointing that out. Hey, everyone. I'm Karishma. I'm from the Pratham Education Foundation. Thank you so much for putting this talk together. I actually wanted to hear more about the challenges that are dealt with chatbots, particularly when we're trying to touch upon the nuances. Obviously, Glyphic has sort of the framework in place, but what are some of the nuances and how can we address it? Like I think Krishna was pointing to the image of the meter as an example, great use case. But what happens when I want to use that for, let's say, forms for admin backend? How do we kind of deal with some of these other nuances, whether it's in OCR or language? So yeah, that's what I was wondering about. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Sneha, you want me to take? Okay, so Karishma, Karishma is the one who has a question, right? So Karishma, we have another organization also who were trying with, who are still trying with GPT Vision to capture, or because there was earlier a lot of time that was being spent in manually copy paste, because in the field workers usually take on pen and paper, there's a lot of manual work to again capture it digitally, and we were trying GPT Vision there. So one nuance is again with respect to the actual tech, how do you write a prompt to ensure it is picking the exact information that you want to pick, and placing it in a place where you want it to be placed. So one is the tech part of it, which takes few iterations to figure out what's working, what's not working, what is being captured well, what's not. So this is one part of your solution, one nuance of the solution, which will take some time, which will take few iterations. But again, I would say this is kind of easiest thing to solve. The bigger thing that would be solved is to make your team or whoever is entering it to get adapted to this particular thing. So how do you make that in such an easy manner so that people are able to switch to this new method of doing? So the organization that I was referring to is Neha, where they were though they know the earlier method took a lot of time for them because they were used to doing it, because they have this apprehension hey, I don't know how would I take a picture, I don't know if it'll go well or not. So that ensuring that the trust is being built, that apprehensions are resolved, that the behavioral shift is something which would take more time. Again, this is pretty much, I would say, this is same for every programs that you are designing, because Pratham is also very huge organization, working with very different sets of people. So that behavioral shift is something that you have to be patient. You have to be trying different methods to get that happening. The tech part is still pretty much possible, solvable, or easy, I would say.
Thanks, Krishna. I fully agree. I think the behavioral shift is just something that will take time and effort
Yeah,
and energy, guidelines, all of this, agreed. But
exactly.
even something with the form digitization, right? We've tried to experiment with it, and the issue that we face is that when they try to digitize, even after everyone has followed all of the instructions to the T, accuracy is still maybe 60% on a really good form. And then how do you justify the manual labor that goes in to fix a digitized component?
Uh, so
And then
one,
address
like,
that.
yeah, like one, when you say digitized, is it more like a GPT vision example, which I gave, like where the picture is being taken and the data is like read from it and put it. So again, like one thing is which I think a lot of us often like look at it differently is when we like even when we run like a different offline programs, a lot of things doesn't go 100% as planned. There are things that will be like initially say a 50% is only working, then we keep on increasing, and that iteration mindset is something that we have to like carry the same I would say value for our tech based interventions as well. And it would require to have your team get on to that or like understand that right from the beginning. Let's not think like, hey, the day tech is replaced, everything will change. It's not like that. It also takes a similar journey as like an offline program is going. But the beauty here is like the day you are able to just fix everything or like come to a good product or like come to a good situation, then the scaling gets very, very easier. Unlike an offline program where there are other limitations with respect to human resources, time, and much more money involved. So that would be my answer. Like, let's not look at this as a very different thing than the approach of the offline programs. Yes, but happy to chat on this more if you want to, like after this call, just in the interest of time, like moving on.
Thank you.
Thanks, Krishna. Thanks, Karishma, for asking that question. We're almost on time. We can stay for another 2-3 minutes if people are available. If you have any questions to the panelists, please ask now. We can take one more question here. And in the meantime, I'm also going to launch the poll on the feedback. So if you can just take 2 minutes to fill the feedback for us, that would be great.
So, are you going to talk about pricing, like you said, or not really?
Sure, I can speak about the pricing.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So Shweta, 3 things, right? With respect to pricing, Glyphic comes with a monthly subscription fee. Basically, you use the platform to build your own chatbot. The platform is basically the fee of the platform is basically depending on whether you choose monthly, quarterly, or annual subscription, right? So that's the basic. On top of that, WhatsApp charges, basically charged by Meta. And we are working with Gupshup. Gupshup is the message service provider in this case. So whatever messages that come on the platform or go from the platform are charged as per Meta rates. And that's billed separately on Gupshup. So that's the second element. The third element, so we also charge a one-time setup fee just to set up your platform, give you training, provide hand-holding, and support you in the initial in the initial phase with respect to Facebook verification and making sure your platform is ready. So that's the third element. And the fourth one is on Google Cloud platform. Basically, if you're using multimedia, if you're using data dashboards, you would also need to set up GCP, an account on GCP. It gives a lot of free tier to you when you're starting in the beginning, and it's majorly free if you're using it for small to medium scale usage. So that's how it is. I'll share more in terms of like how much does it charge, but Glyphic's monthly subscription is 9,500 per month, and one-time setup fee is 15,000. And WhatsApp charges are basically pay per use, depending on how you want to use it and to how many users you want to go to. That's the variable there, right? And yeah, just people also asked about the Launchpad. So Launchpad, we're having Launchpad next month. Currently, the applications are ongoing, and we're closing the applications tomorrow. It's a 2-day in-person event in Delhi for any NGO that's interested in getting their chatbot ready within 2 days. You are more than welcome to come and be part of the Launchpad. So one thing that we're doing is basically making sure making sure your first set of flows are ready by the end of the second day. We're also waiving off the first month's Glyphic subscription, and you just need to pay the one-time setup cost there, and you are basically then will be using the platform for another 1 month, where you can pilot, test the platform, on take the platform to the users, test your pilot, and then take it forward from there. So that is upcoming. I've put the link here, and if you're interested, we can chat more about it as well. Okay, any more questions?
Thank you.
Thanks, Shweta. Okay, any other questions on the platform or in general about tech? Okay, all right then. Thank you everyone for joining in. Big thanks to Krishna, Radhika, and Erica for being part of the panel here and sharing your insights. If you're interested in getting in touch with us, Ishwar, if you can just drop our email ID here, we'll be happy to have a conversation with you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Thank
Neha,
you.
for moderating.
Thank you.
Thank you.